Yeah, one of the things that's tough in our situation as consultants, and I haven't talked to you about this, but I guess you'd agree, is it's not necessarily because a writer or a director, whoever we're working with, is consciously resisting or has that ego. It's that when they need to be listening to us, we're competing with about 5 other voices going through their head, because when you're getting critiqued like that, you're thinking immediately, I did it wrong, how can I make it better? I get into that a lot with writers. I'll be working with them and we'll be talking about the script and they're jumping right to, how do I fix it? How do I fix it? And I'll say, forget fixing, we're not fixing, we're just talking about the screenplay. And trying to get them to relax enough that those voices are not drowning out whatever it is I'm saying, which usually isn't so much a critique. It is more just those questions and kind of leading them to their own conclusions about what's working and not working in their script. Working meaning, are they realizing the vision they had to begin with for their story? But that, it's tough to listen in that situation. Even if you're not an egomaniac or something, it's just, it's so ripe for wanting to be defensive and also cure whatever the problem is, rather than just taking it in and trusting that we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing just to add to that, when you said, fine, but how do I fix it? Mm-hmm. I run into that a lot, which is, okay, and I'll show them a process or lead them to a discovery. And I can see their mind going, yeah, but how can we just get there? How can we just get there? Now, when I'm teaching people how to work with actors, okay, but how can I just get them to do what I want? No, and I think that the frustrating thing for them is to realize this is a process. This is a process that I have to go through. That's going to be several steps, like working with you on a script. Like, I don't just, Michael's not just going to tell me right now how to rewrite the scene and it's going to be fine and I'll write it down and then I'm done. No, I have to go through and I have to look at character and I have to look at arcs and I have to look at a process. And it's the same thing when we're working with actors. I have to look at a process to get to the result. So there's a lot of this wanting a quick fix or a quick technique or a quick trick. And the other thing you said about the voices in your head, I was consulting on a film that was eventually made by MGM, and I was working with the director and we're working on the script, and I was helping him see what the potential is in the script, and the writer was there and where this could go, and he kept going, oh, this is great, but that's not what the studio wants. It's not what the studio wants. I said, no, forget what the studio wants right now. Forget it. We're looking at a script, we're looking at a story, we're looking at what's potentially possible in this story. But he was so locked on, and I don't even know what he was thinking. I don't know what the studio had said to him, but he was so locked on that. And I'm sure they were saying, things like, make it funny. Don't make it too dramatic. And we're probably looking at something more dramatic. Do you know what I mean? And so suddenly that voice was just competing with everything we were doing in the room.
Yeah. It's kind of like you said, as a director working with actors, as consultants, I feel like one of our main jobs is we've got to create a safe space. We've got to create a safe space for the creative person. You have to create it for directors you're working with. I have to create it for writers so they can trust, okay, wait, I get this now. He's not going to tear me apart. It's not going to be about that at all. It's just we're taking a journey into what I wrote together and see what together we can discover that I might not have even realized was there, and see where we can go together with it. And it's not going to be about good or bad, right or wrong, or I screwed up or I did great. It's just what's there that we haven't discovered yet.
Something just occurred to me. Hopefully you'll agree with this. I think you will. I can imagine going to a consultant, like not you or me, but another consultant for screenwriting or directing, and wanting tools, techniques, tricks, whatever, that will work, formulas that will work. And I think what Michael and I do, even if it's just one consultation, and I say this because you've consulted with me on a script I wrote, so I've had that experience. But it's not that. Actually what happens, and I think this is what happens when I work with directors, is we form a relationship. We're not quick fix people. We form a relationship between consultant and client, and that in that relationship, which is a conversation, we're guiding them into a process, into a way of looking at not only that script or that film. I'm going to help you become a better director. You're saying, I'm going to help you become a better writer. We'll work on this script right now. But it's the relationship with the consultant, which is actually, in many ways, what all scripts are about anyway, is a relationship. In other words, we also replicate, this is how you work together. This is how two people communicate. Do you know what I mean? I don't sit here as the teacher, just tell you do this and then you'll be fine. I can show you something, but then I'm going to help you, I'm going to work with you to bring you to the point that you can discover what I already know or what I'm already talking about. So it's a very nurturing relationship. It's not a dictatorial or academic, here's the answer, do it this way.
Yeah, I hope so, certainly, because that's what works, I think.
Yeah.